what's up, everybody? This is Styles, your hip-hop goddess of Good Friday Radio. Welcome to the new and improved Good Friday Radio. Introducing the Good Friday Radio podcast. And what a great and special day to have our first podcast and with our first guest, Jamie O'Clock. I'm gonna give him the O'Clock for the end because this young man has a very promising and a very wonderful business that he is here to present to us today. But before we do get into that, Jamie, I just want to welcome you to our podcast and welcome you to our show. As you can see, Miss Mercy, she can't make it tonight, but she is right here in spirit with us. She's here, in here. Okay.
I see her.
You see her, right?
Mm-hmm,
Can you see the braids?
I see all of it. Yeah.
Thank you. There you go. So, as a co-host that you're going to be today for me, we normally have our topics that we discuss. We have interesting topics. We've got, maybe not so interesting, but I have a very, very interesting topic that I need to have a conversation with a male about. Okay. Now, I've been watching a lot of social media like we all do, and there's been a talk and discussion about men and their sexuality. Now, if you've been watching, Tank had made a statement about, men giving other men fellatio and apparently not considering themselves gay because of that. Now, I have nothing against anybody in the gay community. I love everybody, whatever your preference is. However, I do have not a problem, but I'm just a little confused of why certain men tend to believe that because they are getting a sexual act done towards them, that they're not gay. And this has been going on now for quite some time. I've been seeing things on not just social media, but in certain neighborhoods. You've got small neighborhoods and small areas that have been surfacing of men on these camera phones. They're recording themselves giving another man fellatio, and I'm just confused into why they are hiding the truth. Like, what do you think it is? Can you elaborate on that, Jamie?
I think that people really aren't accustomed to being their authentic self. I think so much of, the culture nowadays is to suppress who you really are and be who people think you are, especially amongst people of color. I think especially when people of color, because Tank is a man of color, and that's why I bring in people of color. When people go into the classroom, they enact behaviors that are typical of suburbans as opposed to urban individuals. So they want to, I'll just say act white as opposed to acting like themselves, even when they go into the workplace, because most bosses are white. They tend to act white because if they are their authentic self or their, brilliant or ratchet self, they know it, they feel it won't be accepted. So they're so used to and accustomed to suppressing who they really are. It's natural for them to suppress that side because, especially being black, when people were having the slaves and everything, what happened was that, they used to rape the male slaves. And they raped the male slaves in order to kind of, in a sense, keep them in line and show the women, like, this is what's going to happen to your man if you don't fall in line. I think they called it buck breaking, and they used to really happen in the West Indies and even here in America. And so now, as Black Americans, we look at homosexuality in some cases as taboo. And so they hid it for so long, like that homosexuality aspect, that now that some people are talking about it, they're like, well, shoot, I've been hiding this for a long time. And I feel as though people have, people don't even know that it's, in a sense, natural for them to be homosexual. So sometimes a male can become homosexual if he was born after his sister. So because the woman's hormones were circulating in the woman's womb. Now when he's being created, the male is around, the woman's genes, and so he kind of picks up some of that. So I believe homosexuality in some cases is genetic. Sometimes it can be phenotypic, to where the male might have had some early occurrences with another male. Childhood molestation might have occurred, but I think it's so much of it's genetic that people aren't in touch with themselves to know that that's where they are, and because society views it as taboo.
And why do you think in our culture, within our people of color, we look down upon so many men that are coming out of the closet
Because
or that are gay?
Because as people of color, I feel like we are the most looked down upon culture in America. And because we're the most looked down upon culture in America, sometimes we feel as though that, nobody we can look down on somebody too now. And sometimes, it's a joke. Like, people laugh about it. Like, it's just something to laugh at. And I think sometimes people take some things too seriously. That's why I was so proud of Dave Chappelle when his stand-up was just raw.
Oh, it was wonderful.
I love Kevin Hart, but I feel like he's so nervous to really say how he feels at this point. Like, his last stand-up, all he did was really talk about his kids.
Right.
Because he was nervous to, offend anyone. And I think people just afraid to give their honest opinion. And it's difficult when you have a society where you're just holding everything back.
Right.
When you're holding everything back and you see opportunity to go crazy, that's when you're going to have males film themselves like, listen, I can't hide this anymore. And they're going to go crazy.
So it's easier for our Caucasian celebrities and actors to basically come out as opposed to our colored men, because 50 was, he just went in on Tank with that. And, I felt that for Tank, he was actually very brave to share that, as well as Malik Yoba. I don't know if you heard when he's been a huge advocate of our transgender community. So does that make him gay, because he cares for another gay man? Why? I just want to know.
It's just, I think it's all about who writes the article. And what spin they choose to put on it, and how the writer feels about that actor or actress or individual in particular. Because anything someone says, you can frame it in the right way. If you just take this word and put this title, it's a completely different story.
Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of our young brothers are just so nervous to come out, and they feel that they're going to be labeled, or they're going to be they either are in fear of their lives, because we've had certain incidents where a young black male was struggling to get out, struggling to share how he feels, and then when he does, it's like you're disbarred from the block. You're not, your street credibility is gone. You either wear a skirt or you can't be around here anymore. And I just need to know, how can we get those other brothers to, not offend those in the community, because they really on it. It doesn't matter how grown they are.
I think, for one, there's not enough places for people who don't make a certain income to interact with each other. So I think if there were more community centers, people would have the opportunity to interact with like-minded individuals. So once you encounter like-minded individuals physically, then it makes you more comfortable to be who you really are. But because there's not these community centers in especially urban neighborhoods, you feel all alone.
Right.
And I think that's the difficult part. So I think what we can do is create community centers so they can bump into someone who's like them and have conversations.
Right, almost like a crisis center where they could share their story, they can talk, and be able to be them.
And not be harassed by police saying you shouldn't be on this corner, you're loitering. They're only loitering because you can't always have everybody in your house.
Right.
You need somewhere else to be, but all these places cost money.
Right. So are these young men that are hiding their sexuality, are they wrong?
No, not wait.
Are they wrong for hiding it, for not wanting to maybe they don't want to share their business, that's their sexuality?
I think they just weren't taught how to be themselves And I think schools are failing students by not teaching them how to communicate and interact and connect and emote to other individuals.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your input. And we're going to be right back. And when we come back, we're going to actually come back and discuss you and who you are and what you're doing on Good Friday Radio. And we want you to share with us all your entrepreneurship adventures when we get back. So make sure that y'all tune in. This is Good Friday Radio podcast with Styles, your hip hop goddess. We'll be right back.
Yo, what's good, Aqua? You really gonna make me break the tonnage, bro? Come on, that shit is $1, bro. Come on, fruit.
Hey, yo, come on, Aqua. We fuck with you every
Bro,
day.
every morning,
Yo,
bro.
come on, Aqua. We not going for that shit.
Come on, bro. You better
talk, bro. You won't do it
Yo, every morning, bro.
You can't
Every
finish
morning,
here every day, bro.
Every morning,
Hey,
man.
jeez, fuck
Making
this
these shits
shit,
every
man.
morning, bro.
Hey, yo, I see,
Make
bro.
the catch up.
Nah,
Make
man,
the
I'm
catch
done
up.
with
Come
this
on,
nigga,
bro.
B.
Come on, I got straight hundos, bro. Don't make me do that. And I got her food too. Fuck is you talking about? How much is that, huh? $3? Come on, come on. And I got her food too. What are you talking about? I'm out here, nigga. I said I got. You good? Thank you. What you think you? She said she good.
She got money.
Yo, bro, yo, nigga, she said keep the change, nigga. Come on. Yo, where you going?
Yo.
It's kind of like Chico's a guy.
Bad bitch by my side. Loose with me down the ride. Suicide, doors open. They come in with Stacy, trust me, I don't do fugazi. Double whip that AP, counting bands in the black Mercedes. Curving if you play me, see him and I know they hate me. Zenny got me lazy, leave my bitches going crazy.
He told me come and get to a bag. Took me to the Ville, I saw them niggas running some laps. Swear to God, I ain't lying, that's a stack with my mommy. That's the rubber band man, just to lay on the Addy. This ain't no joke, you ready, big pimpin', I'm ready for smoke, you ready for war, look under my coat. 17 killers on lock for the bro, these bitches is mad, I'm out the whole flow. Look at how flex it, I'm lethal, my nigga get death wish. Let me correct it, you fuckin' with me, that's your death sin. Nah, how you make a million? Money dance on the rich and middle, that's suicide, not Columbine, you cannot take a stack with a penny. Got inches for bitches, my waist got so many, I like the surprise on my bitches. This is the last supper, little nigga, I'm only down to rock with my hips. Yeah, chain and a wrist, call on Loopy for that shit. Let it rain on that bitch, she a groupie on her shit. Throwing shade at your bitch, she a rookie, fuck a fit. Call and tell you I'm the shit, your nigga looking at my tits.
38, homicide. Bad bitch by my side. Loose with me down the ride. Suicide, doors open. They come in with Stacy, trust me, I don't do fugazi. Double whip that AP, counting bands in the black Mercedes. Curving if you play me, see him and I know they hate me. Zenny got me lazy, leave my bitches going crazy. 38, these niggas be talking, these niggas be plotting, and we be increasing the murder rate. We catch them slipping, we slapping and clipping, you running your head in your vertebrae. We run out the ghost and pick up some hoes and tell my little bitch and I'm running late. Lil' mama, you know that I'm running late. Lil' mama be dripping designer, Looper, you know I'ma find her. Freaky and back at the Honda, 2 and back at the V. My thuggers be with all the drama. Get put in the dirt like a farmer. This dick is too bomb or summer. I'm back and I'm causing no trauma. My bitch is too bad like karma.
Chain and a wrist, call on Loopy for that shit. Let it rain on that bitch, she a groupie on her shit. Throwing shade at your bitch, she a rookie, fuck a fit. Call and tell you I'm the shit, your nigga looking at my tits.
38, homicide. Bad bitch by my side. Loose with me down the ride. Suicide, doors open.
Throwing shade at your bitch, she a rookie, fuck a fit. Call on Loopy for that shit. Throwing shade at your bitch, she a rookie, fuck a fit. Call on Loopy for that shit.
Me O'Clock is a unique concept that takes the numbers in a watch and replaces them with the word me. So every time you look at your watch, you are reminded that it is your time. It is Me O'Clock. Currently, there are 2 lines available. The Elegance line, which is made in France, and consists of 4 different styles, all with the inscription
time is mine. Amor has the word me in the center of the dial. What is unique about the Amor is that the minute and hour hands form a heart once an hour, because you must love yourself before you can love anyone else. Following the Amor, we decided to add some international flavor to the collection. This watch is entitled Mi Tiempo, which means my time. Also found in this watch is the words El Tiempo es mío, which translates into the time is mine. Next, we have the shades of gray, which shows every hour is literally me o'clock. Are you ready for this one? The eclectic watch actually goes counterclockwise. As you can see, the numbers go backwards. We don't all spend time the same way, so why should we look at it the same way? Now, we have the sports line, which is actually made in China. We have entitled this watch the Eclipse. It has one of the Me O'Clock logos in the center, and it has a special message engraved in the back that reads, "Some say there aren't enough hours in a day. We made time for you." Just as a little reminder, there's always time. Who's to say you can't be greater than you were yesterday? Who's to say there isn't enough time? We made time for you. It's Me O'Clock. Is it your time?
Radio podcast. This Styles Your Hip Hop Goddess, and I'm here with Jamie, the creator and inventor of Me O'Clock, as well as all natural rejuvenating products. Jamie,
So,
let's talk about your hair products for one, okay?
okay.
First of all, tell me why you decided to create a natural hair product.
You know, just looking at people and observing them and just seeing like how they were just so misinformed, and you have products like minoxidil and finasteride that can damage the liver or cause erectile dysfunction, and we just felt like it was time to have something that was all natural that could really help people.
Wait. So you're telling me that there are some hair products out there that are giving men dysfunctions in the area?
Yeah, finasteride. Yeah.
Okay. So, and tell me the name of that ingredient again so I know not to buy it for my man.
Yeah, finasteride. Yeah.
Finasteride.
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 So ABC.
How do I spell that?
And so what it is ABC and all of these places have like really well documented these things, and the tough thing is that these pharmaceutical companies can suppress negative views about their product, and so that's the main issue. And so if you don't really understand the chemical ingredient that's causing harm, you don't know to look it up. So all these companies have to do is tell you it's in there, and then you have to go do your research.
Right.
And the thing is that people aren't in tune enough to how to use Google Scholar and how to look up peer-reviewed journals and find this type of information and data.
Okay. So what are some of the ingredients in your product that makes it? I mean, are you allowed to tell us?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, okay. That's gonna make it grow.
Yeah, I mean, horsetail ginger. Just so what it is it's really not the products you use per se.
Okay.
What it is the extraction method. And if the extraction method isn't done properly, then you can have denatured molecules in the compound or in the solution, and that's what causes problems. So everything that people sell can grow hair, but the problem is that all of it isn't potent. And so if it's not potent, then you never know what batch you're really getting.
Right.
We figured out a way to make sure everything we do is potent and natural. And so that's what separates us from all the other products.
So would you say that this is also for someone with European descent? They'll be able to use this?
Oh, yeah. Any age, race, or gender could use it. I had a friend of mine who, she used it on her 2-year-old. I've had 70 and 80-year-olds use it. I know dudes who have used it for their beards, just anywhere and everywhere.
And you use it, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And to let you know, my co-host, Mercy, she uses it too. She's been using it, her and her son, and because she has natural hair, and she says so far it's been a really, really good product. She feels the stimulation, all of that good stuff that she was talking about for the follicles, and what is that? Fruits and berries. No, you said ginger. Ginger.
Ginger, peppermint, just everything, all natural. And I have a bunch of friends who use, a friend of mine from high school actually, Kayon. She could tell you everything about, vitamin E, vitamin A oil, all these oils. She'll buy them, everything. And then she started using this product. And she was like, Jamie, I need another bottle of your stuff. I'm like, no, go use your coconut oil. Go use your vitamin this, vitamin that. But like I said, they don't know. So what it is we figured out how to extract nutrients from the plants without denaturing them. So that's really, but a lot of people don't know how to do that well.
Okay, and also tell us a little bit about your watches. So you've created a line of watches that each hold a significance, and what I love about it is I love how you designed it. As you can see, I'm wearing one, and this is called the Amour, right? This is the Amour collection. Everybody knows what Amour means, right? Love. And I need you to just let them know what your significance of these watches are.
So this one in particular, the arrow actually goes into the heart. And so every time you put it on, it's like you're shooting yourself with love. Another thing that's going on is that the watch is actually forming a heart each minute and every hour. And so each time it forms a heart, it just kind of reminds you to love yourself once an hour. And I feel like too often we go throughout our day without love. And one thing I always feel is that you should never look at a situation with hate. You should never view this situation as, this person doesn't like me, or this situation hates me. Or you should always look at it as if somebody isn't rocking with you like that, it's not that they hate you, it's that they love you on a level of 1 as opposed to a level of 10. And I feel like if we just shift our viewpoint about certain situations, our whole life could change. I feel like the same way we change our future is the same way we could change our past, just simply altering the way we view it.
You know
and the
what
way it
I
happened.
think is a lot of an issue between people, and why there's so many disagreements, arguments, frustration among each other, because I think it's a lack of communication, or it's a miscommunication. I think people view the way they view something, the way they view they need to be treated, and another person may not feel that same way. So what I like about the concept of your products is that I feel like you're bringing together some type of unity, and reminding people on a daily basis, like, love yourself, and hopefully you can learn to love others, because you can't love anybody until you learn to love yourself, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of competitive businesses out there. A lot of millennials that I see are starting to bring their own business and, build their own empire. And do you believe that Black businesses have made a huge influence among this generation of millennials? Because I don't see them really going to the workforce anymore. I see them going straight into doing their own thing. And you're a professor, so I need you to tell me how do you interact with your kids? Your students.
I feel like a lot of individuals aren't going into the workforce because they can't, because they haven't developed a skill, and because they haven't been taught how to be creative and how to use their talents to make money. I feel like, a lot of people are creating their businesses because with the shutdown of a lot of malls, that's where a lot of people will go to work. And with, school not being fun, people don't see the purpose. And so I think we really have to go back to, the vocational aspect of learning how to, do plumbing, do electrician, do construction, but understand how to do it, understand how the process work, understand how to actually create cement,
Right.
just these fundamentals. And how people have to go back to using their hands. So yeah.
Well, they use their hands on their phone and social media. That's the most hands I've been seeing being used. But I just feel like it's a very competitive field when you're doing business, and there's also a lot of people now, Black businesses, that are moving forward within hair products. There are Carol's Daughter, you got Hair Brew, you've got, you have a few that are really up and coming, and we want to support all of them. You know, I would love to. I just trying to find the right one that'll work for me. So sell me yours. Tell me why yours would be better than the rest.
I mean, you know, I've seen the results that some products get, you know, and it really depends on what you're looking for. You know, right now we focus on scalp rejuvenation, and what people don't realize is that in order for the hair to be its best, you have to heal the scalp, and nobody can heal the scalp the way we can. Nobody can grow hair faster than we can. You know, I've seen hair products. You know, somebody said they would show me like, oh, I've been using this. And I'm like, oh, how long did it take your hair to get this length? They said, 3 months, and I'm like, we could have did that in 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
You know, just seeing like the difference in the rate of growth and what people have. And I had secretaries at dermatologist offices that would use the product, give it to their niece, and their niece's hair would grow 2-3 inches, and their niece's hair had never grew past, you know, 1 millimeter before.
Wow.
Yeah, secretary over at Columbia University Medical School.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know, we call her up, go in there, ask her. She'll tell you. So,
Okay.
you know, but when I see, you know, somebody who has access, who's a secretary at the dermatologist office, who has access to so much information, and you still couldn't grow your niece's hair back, and our product just walks in one day and it grows 2-3 inches, you know, in like a month.
Yeah, that says something.
I'm like, come on.
That says a lot. That
you
says
know,
a lot.
so that's what gives me the confidence to say, and just seeing my friends using, and you know, just seeing like, you know, people start from bald and then start to like get the new follicles back and see their confidence grow. And you know, I had people with vitamin A deficiency who, you know, their teeth were falling out of their mouth, and you know, I'm not saying no names, but like to know what the problem is, take in vitamin A, it not do nothing for that individual's hair, use our product, and then it regrows the hair. You know, it's just like no matter what deficiency the individual could be having, I've seen it work on everybody.
Okay, and you share these with your students. Do you, at times, you know, let them know, like, this is what I do, aside from your...
You know, I share with some of them.
Okay.
You know, some administrations don't really want you to discuss, like, you and, like, what you're about. And so it makes it difficult to, you know, but I think it's just a flawed system. But I do try to share little bits and pieces of, you know, what I do with as far as the companies, like with the hair product and the Mia Clark product and things like that.
Jamie, you're on a roll. What's next? What you got next? What's in the making? Are you going to be creating more watches, more hair products?
We're in the process of opening a store now on 76th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenue.
Oh, y'all got some money. That rent is very high. I do a little real estate, y'all, too, so you know. But yeah, I'm just saying that's wonderful. But you taking it to the east side, like the Jeffersons, huh?
I mean, you know, every year things have to advance, right? So hopefully we'll be the new Jeffersons. Same way they make a new Batman, hopefully this will be the new Jeffersons, right?
All right, I like that. Okay, y'all, that's Jamie, founder and creator of Mia Clark, and also of, I love these watches. I really do. And also the hair rejuvenating products. You guys can find him on, you're going to tell him your social media, Jamie?
Yeah, you know, everything is at Mia Clark. You know.